Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Creation and today I'm going to show you how to subtitle your YouTube videos like a pro. So let's waste no time and get straight on into it. All you're going to want to do is go to your web browser. You're going to want to go to a website called dafont.com. This is just a website that lets you pick out more of a personalized text. So I like to use cartoon style ones, as many other YouTubers do as well. It'd be great with this main page where you can literally click on anything. Like I say, I click on cartoon and then you've got hundreds and hundreds to choose from. So I'm sure you'll be able to find one that you like. This is just the one I'm using today, which is Obelisk Pro. I think it's really nice. Anyway, you just want to hit download and then you'll be asked to extract the file using WinRAR. Do that, click on the file, install, and then you'll have your text there for you to use. Here we are then guys, inside Premiere Pro, which in my opinion, this is one of the easiest editors to use if you're going to be doing subtitling like this. I'm just going to play you a clip now of what we're going to be subtitling. I already added subtitles to this, but then I'm just going to replicate this and show you how to do it. So I'll just play you this.
I just went out and bought my mic.
Oh, did you? Where from?
I couldn't hear the game, so I was getting pissed off, to be honest.
So there we go guys, nice and simple. Two people talking, one being me of course, and just changing colours on the text. So it's just very basic stuff, but I'm just going to show you this before I get into some more advanced stuff. So you want to open up your project, new project, whatever, import your clips like so, drag it onto the timeline, and as you can see, none of this is subtitled, but we're going to change that. So you want to hit File, New, you want to go Legacy Title. Now these values in here are going to be set to whatever video you dragged into your timeline. So I never change any of these, just go ahead and click OK. Now you can rearrange these boxes however you want. So I'm just going to make them a little bit bigger just so it's easier for you to see. Now you can click anywhere on the screen and literally just type in what you want. If you want to know what you need to type in, you can just drag this box down, hit play.
I just went out and bought my mic.
So as you heard me say there, it's just, I just went out and bought my mic. So you want to type that in. Like so. Next, you want to change your font to the one you've chosen, or if you want to choose a preset, then feel free. I'm going with Obelisk Pro, like so. The next step is your color. You can change this to literally anything just by changing all these sliders. You can find something you like. However, there's a little code down here which I know for the orange preset, which I always use, which is FFA 200. Once you find a color you like, you can write it down somewhere. Like I have a list of colors on my phone, just so I remember and I don't have to sort of play around and find one I like again. So you want to click OK. As you can see, that just changes the text. Next thing we want to do is change the size of the text. Now I put these values anywhere between 70 and 80. I find it's not too small that you can't see it, but it's not big and covers the whole screen and distracts from the gameplay too much. So this time I'm going to go with 70. Next thing, you want to center your text with this little button over here. Simply click so and it puts it right in the center. Then you want to click on your Y position, which is how high or low the text is, and I'm changing it to 1050, which I think is a good value, good position to have on your text. But like I said, depending on what game you play, you can have it wherever you want. This is just what I'm using. So it's looking pretty good, but we can make it that little bit better by clicking on outer strokes, which adds sort of like a black outline to the text, just makes it pop a bit more and a bit easier to read. But it's not very noticeable at the moment. So if you click on size, change 10 to 50, and as you can see, if I right click here and click off, it makes the text stand out a lot more. So I think that looks much better, and that's just what I do with all my subtitling. All the values we've put in now is going to be sort of saved, so when we duplicate this, it's going to be preset, and all we've got to do is change the text, and if it's a different person speaking, change the color. So you want to click X out of this. Then your text appears in your project like so, and you can just simply drag it on and your text will appear like this. But we need it to match up with what we're saying. Now, easiest way to do that is to identify on these waveforms where you're speaking and when you stop speaking. If your waveforms don't look like this, you can click this little thing here, which makes them bigger or smaller. Just makes it a bit easier to see. Now, I know just because I've subtitled this not too long before this video, I pretty much start speaking here. So I'm going to put the marker there, drag the text to there, and as you can see, if I play it,
I just went out and bought my mic.
so the text appears when I start speaking, but we want to make sure it disappears at the right time as well. So normally what I'll do, I'll listen to the clip and just hit stop once I stop speaking, obviously, and then I normally go back 1 or 2 frames with the left button on the keyboard and then simply drag the text down like so. Now if we will re-watch it, it should be better.
I just went out and bought my mic.
There we go. So it's good, it's not perfect, but when you're doing these videos yourselves, just make sure you really take the time and sync it up properly, because it does pay off. It does take a while, but it's totally worth it in my opinion. So that's just the very first little bit, but there are 2 people speaking in this clip, but normally I just focus on doing all the subtitling to one person first, and then go and do the other people, or person in this case. So what we're going to do, I know I speak at the end, if I find it here.
I couldn't hear the game, so it's getting pissed off, to be honest.
So I speak from pretty much here. So what you're going to want to do is click on the title you just made, right click. You want to hit duplicate, and what that's going to do is put the exact same copy, but it's going to let you edit that, and you're not going to affect the first one you did. So double click on like here, like so. All you got to do is change the text to what you want by highlighting it all. So I can't actually remember what I said, so let's just have another listen.
From?
I couldn't hear the game, so it's getting pissed off, to be honest.
Now it's probably too much to put all in one go, so we're going to make 2 of these. So I'm just going to change it to that. No, I couldn't hear the game. You want to click that to center it again, and as I said, all the values are fine. We've got our outer strokes, we've got the font size, we've got the position. All we've literally got to do is change the text and center it like I said. So click X out of that. That's not all we're going to put on there though, because I say a bit more after that. So we want to right click again, duplicate again, double click on the new one, change the text. Now what did I say? No, I couldn't hear the game, so I was getting pissed off, to be honest. Right, so center again, all our values are fine. Drag him on like so, and then we want to line it up just like we did with the first one. So let's have a listen.
I couldn't hear.
So I know I start speaking about here, drag it to there,
I couldn't hear the game, so it's.
and then I say so about here,
So
about there, so you can just drag it onto there.
Where from?
I couldn't hear the game, so it's getting pissed off, to be honest.
Like I say, I've stopped speaking, so click stop. Then I sort of left click about 2 or 3 times. Drag the end of the text to where the marker is. And if we replay it.
Where from?
I couldn't hear the game, so it's getting pissed off, to be honest.
So there we go, nice and simple. Now all that's left to do is subtitle the other person talking. In this case, we're going to change the color so you can clearly distinguish who's talking and when. What we can do though is literally just same thing. You want to hit duplicate. Listen to what they're saying first as well, so we know what to put.
How did you?
So double click, change the text. You want to center it again, and this time we want to change the color. Oh, what have I done there? Undo that. There we go. So like I say, we just want to change the color. This time we're going to change it to a green. Doesn't really matter because it's just a tutorial, so I'm just going to change it like so. I've already got the outer strokes and everything. Hit X off there. Now, when we want to keep adding subtitles for the green, we literally just right click, duplicate on the green, and it's going to duplicate that exact clip. So, same if I want to carry with orange, I do the same. So, I want to drag in that. As you can see, what will happen sometimes is the text will be too long, the duration. So if I drop it in like this, it's going to actually delete all those things, which is what you don't want. So I'm just going to undo that. And what you should do is literally just drag it the one above like that. Then you can just shorten it and you can drag it back in. So let's find out what else he said.
Where did you? Where from?
No, I couldn't.
He said where from. So in our second one that we've just duplicated, double click. And where from? Question mark. Center it again, like so. It's green, it's blah blah blah. We are all good to go. Drag him in, above, shorten him down. Probably shorten it a bit more just to get some room, and then we will find out when he starts speaking. So starts around here. This is just a rough, like I say, make sure you go through and take your time doing these because it will pay dividends when you upload.
Where did you?
And it says where from about here.
Where from?
And so go about 1 or 2. And there we go. That is pretty much it. If I replay now, we should have a fully subtitled section. Oh, hang on. Wrong one.
I just went out and bought my mic.
Where did you? Where from?
No, I couldn't hear the game, so it's getting pissed off, to be honest.
So that is literally it. It's just as simple as that. What you could do as well, some YouTubers like to, instead of changing the actual body of text, the color, they'll change the outside. So if we change it to white, and you can change the outer strokes color to say red, like that. Or if you wanted blue, you could do that as well. So that's just something else you can look at doing. That is literally just the very basics. What I'm going to do now is import some different clips, and I'm going to show you some different effects you could do. Now I'm going to show you an effect where you can make your text appear word by word when, for example, someone's taking a bit of a pause in between their sentence. Let me show you an example of what it's going to look like.
Fucking them, boys. Oh my god. Oh, mate, this team's like silver fucking one, mate.
So you see what I mean there? As I'm speaking, it's just appearing word by word as I'm taking a bit of a pause in between. Now if I show you what it looks like without the effect.
Oh my god. Oh, mate, this team's like silver fucking one, mate.
I think you might agree it looks a lot better with the effect, so that's just an example of when you can use it, but I'm going to show you now how to do it. So I've already got my clip. I've already got the subtitle text, which I've done. I've put in the color, I've put the spacing on it, etc, etc. It's all ready to go. It's all synced up with when I start saying it and when I finish saying it. So all you're going to need to do is click on effects. This won't be there, so what you're going to need to type in is crop. Simply click and drag onto crop and drag it onto your actual subtitle. Now it will bring up, make sure you're in effects controls, and it will bring up this. Now I'm not going to go too in depth with keyframes because it is a lot to cover, and I mean this video would be like a bloody, I could easily make this video an hour long if I told you everything in depth. So I'm going to go through it hopefully at a good pace where you can still follow along. Any questions, just drop them down below and I'll help you best I can. But anyway, so we're at the start. Now what we want to do is have this text appear as we're speaking. Now I do say this team's like pretty quick, so I'm going to have all of that just appear first. So what you're going to need to do is click on in the crop bit, you will have right. So you want to click on right, but you want to click on the little stopwatch. Sorry if I'm waffling here, I'll try not to. Anyway, so click the stopwatch. It's going to add a keyframe. So when this text first appears, what we want on there is just this team's like. So if you edit this value, you can either do it with a slider or you can type in what you want. Slide it to, so we cover everything but this team's like. So now we've done that, we want to play it and find out when the next bit is.
Mate, this team's like silver.
So I'm just about to say silver. So that when I'll go back one frame. What we then need to do, click this little button here, which adds another keyframe. So then we want to go to the next. So literally just press right once on the directional pad. You'll go one frame forward. Then what we're going to do is click reset, which is then going to add a new keyframe, but then we're going to set it to what we want to be displayed, which is this team's like silver. So edit to the value where literally it's just saying this team's like silver. Now the reason we put a keyframe just before is because if we didn't do that, this little section here, the word silver would slowly start appearing throughout, but we don't want that. So by adding keyframe just before when we change, being the same as it is at the start, it just makes it stick like that essentially. So as you can see, we're going along. If I show you now,
Oh mate, this team's like silver.
so you see silver just appeared there. So we're literally just going to do the same for the rest of the text, like so. So let me just find out.
Silver fucking.
So yeah, I do apologize about swearing in this. I always swear when I play games. So it's about there. You can see where literally there. So we want to go one frame back. Literally click this to add a keyframe. So it will be just this until then. Click right to go forward one frame. Reset to add all the keyframes back. And I want it cropped until it just says that. There we go. Then we want to go forward and find the next bit.
Fucking what?
So I say one there. So add a keyframe. Hit reset. And you want to crop it until it just says the one. Now this is a good example here. So as you can see, if you look closely, with it on 25, it just crops out the one. Or if we go back to 24, you can just start to see the M, which is what we don't want. So an easy way to get around that is click on here, change it to 0.5%, hit enter, which will get rid of it. So because it's 0.5%, it's more precise. So you can either go up or down until you're literally on what you want. So there we go. That's much better. Like if we're changing it back to 24 to show you, you can see we're seeing the M, but we don't want that. So that's just a little thing to keep your eye on. There we go. And then we just want to go forward to the last bit.
One mate.
So I say mate about here. And because it's the last one, all you want to do is literally hit add keyframe, hit reset, and then you want all this on there for the end of it. So you don't need to do anything then. So if we zoom back out, it should say it all in sync.
Oh mate, this team's like silver fucking one mate.
So it is literally just simple as that. It's just a nice little effect to add. In particular, the times I can think about using it is when someone says like, oh my god, you know, like when they're like, oh my god, just as an example, or like I've just shown you in my example now. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll try to explain it the best I can. Keyframes is a thing you've just got to get used to really, because I've been editing a while. I sort of get the hang of it. But if you've got any questions about that, leave them down below. Another simple but very effective technique you can use is when someone repeats themselves, you can make the text get bigger. I'll show you what I mean right now.
Behind you, oh my.
So can you see what I mean when he says behind you for the second time, it slightly moves closer to you while getting bigger.
Behind you, oh my.
So I'll just show you what I mean when it doesn't do that.
Behind you, oh my.
So I think you can agree it looks much better with. So I'm now going to show you how to do it. So all you do, you put your text in like so. So essentially he repeats himself twice. So at the start of him talking, you need the text, and just when he finishes repeating it for the second time, you need it to finish there. So all we're going to do, go to, we skip forward just to where he's about to say it again. We zoom in, we can see that he's just about to say it there. So what I normally do just before he's about to say it, go 2 frames back, make sure we're clicked on the text. Then we're going to keyframe it with scale. So we click the little stopwatch. Then what I would like to do is go 4 frames forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I normally do is I'll just add 15 to the scale. So press up on my keyboard, 15, 115. And then if we go back and watch, this is what we've done.
Behind you, oh my.
So yeah, as you can see, that's a real simple one, but I think it's very effective. So you can now use that in your videos as well. And finally guys, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to make your subtitle move across the screen while something's happening. I'll show you the example of what I mean now.
Oh!
So as you can see, as I'm saying, oh, I'm having it come down from the top, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to delete that because we don't need it. We're just going to create a new one just so I can show you what you've got to do. If you want it coming from the top, you've got to like leave a space after enter after everything. So you've got to put like A, W, enter, W, and so you've got to have it coming down, essentially, is what I mean. So yeah, we're just going to change it all. Right, so there we go. One thing to mention as well, it's got to all fit on the page. You can't have like it going off to start with. It's all got to fit on the page at the start. So you can change all the X and Y axis to have it where you want. You can have it coming in over here. That one doesn't matter. So if you press this one, it'll just put it in the middle of the screen. Anyway, so just position that where you want. Changed all that. Nice and simple. So drag it on. I can tell where I'm saying the oh, it's down here, starts there. Let's find where it ends.
Oh!
So roughly about there, I'd say. And now drag that to there. Now we're just going to use our little friend, the keyframe. So this time we're going to keyframe the position. Click on this one here on the right hand side. This one is how far up or down it is. So if I do that, you can see it's moving up and down. So we want it to come in from the top and go to the bottom. So simply all we do is we push it just so the H is off the screen, like so. So that's our starting position. Now we're going to go to the end when we want the text to disappear. Go one frame back so we can see, and simply drag it all the way down like this. So just so the A is off the screen, like so. And then that is how you do it. So if we play it through now,
Oh!
and obviously you can change it, have more A's, W's and H's or whatever you want, and it'll just go in sync. But that's pretty much all you do. You just put keyframe at the top to start, and then your finishing position, which is at the bottom, and it'll make the text fly through like so. Right then guys, so that pretty much concludes my tutorial on how to subtitle your videos like a pro. I've shown you a few little different tips and tricks, little effects, things like that. I like to think I've covered it all in one video. Hopefully I didn't go too fast certain bits. I did try to slow it down so you could follow along. Any questions, drop them down below. I'd really appreciate it if you could give the video a like and maybe subscribe for any future tutorials or content. I do make gaming videos, so feel free to check those out as well. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hope this helps. See you all in the next one.